Some more live Q&A here. This one from Scott Fowler. Any updates on Travis Frederick and his return for 2019? From the Cowboys internally and from Frederick himself, the expectation is that he is good to go this season, even for the beginning of the offseason program. So nothing set in stone yet. Look, Gia Beret is rather unknown overall in terms of the wide national knowledge, in terms of the casual person, but I think he'll be okay, and I believe he'll be okay. There could be a setback, but there's been no indication that that's happened or will happen yet, so I feel pretty good that Frederick will be back on the Cowboys in 2019 and starting and being the guy we all love. From Mitchell, who's a better fit, Duke Johnson or Ty Montgomery? Duke Johnson is a better fit, but remember, Ty Montgomery is also cheaper, way cheaper, and if you wait till after the draft, you basically get him for like the vet minimum. I would prefer Duke, but money is an object there, so maybe you go Ty Montgomery instead. Robert Olmstead, how about we trade up in the draft for Dexter Lawrence from Clemson? If you paid attention last year, you guys all know I wanted Vita Vea real bad. I wanted him more than any prospect for the Cowboys, even more than Derwin James. Of course, the Cowboys turned out just fine with Leighton Vander Esch, obviously. I worry a little bit about moving up in the draft because I like to hoard my draft picks. I like quantity beyond just having quality. Quantity will help lead to quality in the end because it's a bit of a crapshoot. But if he's there in the mid to late 40s, I'm going to be real tempted. He would be a great fit. Now, it does kind of put Antoine Woods by the wayside, which I don't love, but I'm a big fan of Dexter Lawrence. He is a top 32 guy for me overall right now. Austin Wass, big Cowboys fan from day one, he says, he really doesn't think we'll win a Super Bowl with Jason Garrett as head coach. Do you think the same? I mean, if I have to pick one, it's probably more likely that he won't than he will. But, A, you just got to get to the playoffs, step one. And B, don't forget how hard it is to actually win a Super Bowl. Look how long it took the Eagles to even get close to one. It's fair. Crazy Josh Schicks, do you think the Cowboys should let Heath walk? No, I don't. He can be your backup. That's what Jeff Heath is. He is a good backup who helps on special teams, is your emergency kicker. So from that perspective, and he's still cheap right now, why do you need to let him go? You can keep Jeff Heath, Xavier Woods, George Iloka, and an early round draft pick. I think that makes a lot of sense there for the Cowboys. Super chat from I Am Ninja. Okay, I botched that real hard. Sorry. Expectation next year based on record/playoffs. The expectation remains making it back to the playoffs and going beyond. If you don't do those things, I don't see Jason Garrett back next year. I think he'll be fired. Now, more realistically, the schedule's really tough. So I'm going to put my own personal expectations at 9-7 or 10-6 and a playoff spot. If that doesn't happen, the season was probably a failure. Now, there are reasons why things could have gone wrong, i.e. a Dak Prescott injury that's not really fair to the team, but those are at least my expectations for the Cowboys because they're trying to win right now. Missing the playoffs is not winning right now, obviously. Matt S., chances they draft a corner at 58 and move Awuzie to safety. Chance-wise, like 1 star. I could see it happening. I'd be maybe a little bit surprised, but I wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, there is some reasoning behind it. I think you would do it if there was a cornerback that you loved at 58. It would be less about moving Awuzie to safety and instead getting a better player in a cornerback. My problem is I don't think you're going to find that type of guy out there quickly. David Runyon says, what about offering a 5-year, $140 million deal for Dak this year? Will he take the money now if it's a better cap hit for the team? Well, if you offer Dak 5 years, $140 now, I actually think you're in the ballpark. And because of that extra year on his first-year contract, it comes out a little bit closer to 6 years, $140. I think 28 is, in terms of like this is your range for Dak, you're probably like here. You're on maybe the lower side, but I think it works well enough for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I do want to see if Wilson signs and just for how much. I think that will have a bit of an impact there. Preston's super team, I bet I can beat you in Madden, Tom. I mean, maybe. I don't play much Madden anymore. I don't have the time for it. But back in the day, I used to be pretty good. What system do you play on, Preston? Let me know, because maybe we can hook up some kind of game here. All right, Thomas Harness, Cowboys OT in the first round next year. Very possible. It's really early to project, but if you take a receiver in like round 3 or round 4, then I think it bumps up. I think that offensive tackle in 2020, because La'el Collins is a free agent, is going to be one of your top options in 2020's draft, especially early on. From Tyreek Hill, oh boy, is Taylor Rapp a first or second rounder? I've got actually a first/second round grade on him. What I mean by that is, if the board falls the way I think it might, I would be okay taking Taylor Rapp late in round 1. And I think his range is somewhere in that late first round, despite his bad 40-yard dash time at his pro day, all the way down to probably mid-second. I'd be pretty surprised if Rapp was on the board at number 58 overall. So I think it's more likely he goes in round 2. But if he does, I think he's going to be a top 50 guy off the board. Matt S., if there's a run on safeties and defensive line, what's the next option for the Cowboys? If there are no edges, no DTs, no safeties, based on who they've brought in so far, probably be receivers. Weird as that sounds, I think in that scenario, a guy like Deebo Samuel probably falls to you at 58. That might actually be the pick there. Jared Frazier, should we draft safety first, then go defensive tackle over defensive end? This is my personal preference. I want to go safety first. I want to take the best defensive lineman available then in round 3. I don't care if it's DT or defensive end. You get to pick 90. Projecting a position is really tough because you just don't know who's going to be there. Now, in the past, I've probably been too critical on the Cowboys for not picking the guy that I particularly wanted. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong on that. So I will not be too upset if they go different than safety in round 2, with one exception. Don't you dare take Jalen Ferguson. I do not want him on the Cowboys. He's not that good. That would be a bad pick by the Cowboys. The dude is still running his 3-cone time. He hasn't finished yet. It's insane. All right, Santos Ramirez. Why is there so much hate on Jeff Heath? Do people not know that he plays both special teams and defense at 70 snaps a game? I think it's the expectations of what people want from Jeff Heath. If you want Jeff Heath to be a number 1 top-tier safety, you've been disappointed. If you want Jeff Heath to be a nice glue guy, a key special teams player, and a very low-end number 2, but a good number 3 safety, you're pretty happy. So a lot of, I think the way we grade players is what we expect them to do. When the surprise undrafted free agent makes the roster, it's awesome at the beginning. But as the expectations grow, it's not quite the same. Matthew Lee, who's going to have a breakout season? I'll give you one for offense, one for defense. Offense, Michael Gallup. I think he is primed for that breakout year. I think an offseason with him and Dak is going to figure out the slight chemistry issues that they had on those deep balls. If they can connect on 50% more, Gallup has himself a big year, and so does Dak Prescott. On defense, it's almost cheating. Give me Xavier Woods. We saw the flashes last year. I think he takes another step forward. No, by the way, he wasn't happy about the Earl Thomas talk. Now I think he's going to put that beside him because he's a competitor. He wants to win and, of course, get paid down the road. But I think Xavier Woods and Gallup are my top 2 guys right now. Today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Again, that promo code is Cowboys120. They will have NFL draft prop bets for you guys. You'll make a ton of money if you follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. That's right, at WhatGoingDowney right there on your screen. Follow me. I'll tweet them all out. I made a bunch of money at the Combine. We'll help each other out there. We'll win some for the NFL draft as well. So chatsports.com/bet. That promo code is Cowboys120. More Cowboys live Q&A here on the Cowboys Report from Johnny Lopez. Could the Cowboys be sneaky and look at some guys from the AAF? There were some decent NFL caliber players. There is a 100% chance the Cowboys will look at AAF players because every NFL team's going to do it. They're all going to do it because the Cowboys had several AAF players on their roster in training camp. They'll do the exact same thing. They'll sign guys, let them compete for a role. Maybe they sign them after the draft. I think that would make most sense for the players involved. But they will sign some players. But remember, in 99% of the cases, these guys were on the AAF for a reason. They weren't good enough in the NFL. Now, there will be some AAF success stories, but if you're signing an AAF player, it's not to be your top-tier backup. It's to be a guy that competes for one of those last roster spots. Andy, a longtime watcher, I hate to do it to you, my man, says Trent Richardson as a backup running back. No, he's bad. Oh, no, illegal alien. Who had some fun at my expense the other day, too, on a show. No, guys, Trent can't see. I'm pretty convinced he's actually blind. The vision on him is non-existent. He didn't work for the Raiders or the Colts. He scored a lot of touchdowns. He's a glorified fullback right now. I would rather sign all different kinds of AAF players. Heck, go trade for Bo Scarborough again before you bring back Trent. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.